Okay, everyone, we are live today for severe weather coverage. Currently, we have a tornado warning. There's again a tornado warning. We're going to get started off with that. That's near Mobridge, South Dakota, the Wakpala district. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, let me know in the chat. Not the best radar coverage out here, but you can see some rotation in here. So we're going to keep an eye on that. You've got velocity on the right, reflectivity on the left. That's currently our only tornado warning and our only severe thunderstorm warned storm. We just had a new mesoscale discussion come out from the Storm Prediction Center. Severe mesoscale discussion. Tornado watch likely. Probability of watch 80%. So we should see a tornado watch in the next hour, hour and a half. So once again, a tornado watch will likely be issued for northern South Dakota and central North Dakota within the next hour and a half. Give me just 1 second, everyone. I'm gonna get a couple things set up. So if I'm not talking, I'm just getting everything ready for the stream while we don't have too many people in here. So give me just a second, everyone. I will be checking on the live chat to see how everyone is doing. If you do have any questions, please be sure to let me know. Oh, we've got 4 people watching. What's up, Misty Davis? How is it going? The stream delay is about 20 seconds. I forgot to change that. I don't think it's worth restarting the stream just to fix that. So I'm not going to right now. So I'm sorry about that. But once again, a tornado warning is in effect for Mobridge and Wakpala in northern South Dakota. So if you are in this polygon, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. If you do not have a basement or storm shelter, go to a hallway or a bathroom closet without windows to protect yourself from flying debris. I don't believe we have a tornado on the ground right now, but we will continue to keep an eye on this. It is currently radar indicated. Also, there's that new mesoscale discussion. We were just going over that. So a tornado watch is likely, 80% chance for central North Dakota. So that does include Jamestown, Carrington, New Rockford, barely includes Bismarck. What's up, Western Ohio WX? Welcome into the stream. Give me just a second, everyone. I am going to pair the external microphone and share this stream out online. So just a moment, everyone, while I get some things set up here. Hello, Peachy. Good to see you. How is it going, everyone? Okay. Gonna get this microphone set up. I had to make sure my computer wasn't gonna pull up the prompt that it always does for entering my password to pair a new accessory. Alright, so now microphone is paired, so we should be good. I did share this stream out. So if you're just tuning in, I'd recommend doing the same. But once again, we're going to focus on this tornado warning for Mobridge, North Dakota, Wakpala, North Dakota. I don't know how long we'll be live here because this is our only storm right now. Okay, so I'm not going to use that microphone. It's making a weird ticking noise. Maybe I'll go back to it later. But I don't want that to be annoying. if you are in north of Mobridge or in the Waukepa district in South Dakota, seek shelter now in the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows, basement or storm shelter. The tornado is not currently on the ground, but we could see one very soon. We don't have the best radar coverage out here, but once again, no confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground. This tornado warning does expire in 13 minutes. You got here a bit late. No, you're right on time. You're good. Thank you for tuning in. So once again, thanks for joining in. We got Misty, Western Ohio, WX, Peachy, Tabby Gamer, Davis. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. So today we do have a slight risk of severe weather. Let's pull up day 1. Okay, so you can see that mesoscale discussion for the tornado watch is centered directly around our slight risk. That is where our 5% tornado risk is in place. I did not realize we now have 3 separate slight risks, but we now have 3 slight risks of severe weather. It looks like our 2 southern ones are either hail or wind driven, or both, and then our northern one is tornado driven. So a 5% tornado risk, so a couple tornadoes are possible. So once again, here's our severe risk today. Now we have a marginal risk for portions of Idaho and Montana and Eastern Oregon. So if you are just tuning in, be sure to say hello in the chat. How is everyone doing? We got 3 people watching, 4 likes. Appreciate the support on the stream. Give me just a second, everyone. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that. I do not have my external monitor paired today, so I'm kind of gonna have to see those behind the scene things, switching back and forth between OBS as necessary. Hopefully not too much as we get further into the stream. Just a slight interruption there. Okay, so they did just update this tornado warning. It no longer includes Mobridge, South Dakota. So if you're in that area, you can move out of your shelter, but continue to stay in your storm shelter for another 5 to 10 minutes. And take those tornado precautions if you are in the Waukepa district. I don't think we're going to see a tornado with this storm, at least anytime soon. But I will continue to keep an eye on it. We've got lots of rain. One of the things I'm kind of worried about for storms today, they're not going to have much, the atmosphere doesn't have much sunshine to soak up for that daytime heating. So I don't know how many storms we're going to see fire or really get going with all of this rain and how cloudy it is up there. Just out of curiosity, I want to see what our temperature's looking like up there. I do not know anything about getting around Radar Omega. Since they updated it, I don't know how to see... No, I don't know how to see temperature anymore. Yeah, I don't know where it is. It's probably really obvious and I'm just missing it. That's okay. So, once again, for those of you just tuning in, we do have a level 2 out of 5 slight risk of severe weather in effect today, issued by the Storm Prediction Center. We actually have 3 separate slight risks. One of those, our main target today in terms of a tornado threat, is in northern South Dakota and central and northern North Dakota. This second slight risk is wind and hail driven. That includes Lexington, Nebraska, Kearney, Nebraska, Grand Island, Nebraska, Phillipsburg, Kansas, Norton, Kansas. And then this one down here, which I believe is, yeah, that one's actually hail and wind driven too. Okay, so that slight risk, which includes Woodward, Oklahoma, Perryton, Texas, Higgins, Texas, Canadian, Texas, just to name a couple. Beaver, Oklahoma, also includes Ashland and Coldwater in Kansas. So that is a wind and hail driven threat. So damaging large hail is possible there today. Our 2% tornado risk does include this middle slight risk. You can see that stretches all the way. Our tornado risk stretches from north central Kansas all the way through the North Dakota Canadian border. So our tornado warning for Mobridge, South Dakota, actually areas just north of there now, Wakulla, that does expire in 7 minutes. It's kind of hard to tell what we've got going on out here. The radar is Aberdeen radar is 97 miles away, and Bismarck is 81. So we'll use the Bismarck radar, but these warnings are being issued by the National Weather Service in Aberdeen, South Dakota. So if you are just tuning in, be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from. We're going to be covering areas all across the country today, but specifically our areas in those slight and marginal risks of severe weather. Main focus today is going to be North and South Dakota, where we do have that slight risk accompanied by a 5% tornado risk. And I do think there is a chance that we see a severe thunderstorm watch down south with one of these slight risks for maybe a couple of tornadoes possible. Doubtful though. And then damaging large hail and damaging winds is probably what they would issue that for. So tornado warning continues east of Wakulla District and Wakulla in northern South Dakota. If you would like to help out with supporting the channel, the PayPal is, if you scroll back to the beginning of the chat, you'll see that link. But donations are completely optional. They are greatly appreciated though. They do help out a lot. And there we go. There is our tornado watch. It has not fully loaded in yet because I would assume this area would be attached. But this tornado watch is going to include Aberdeen, South Dakota, Mobridge, McLaughlin, South Dakota. I bet it'll include Bismarck, but that part hasn't loaded in yet. It does include New Rockford, Devil's Lake, Langdon, North Dakota. That goes all the way to the Canadian border. So in the yellow is our tornado watch. I'd assume they're also going to include, here I'll draw it for you guys. See this area in yellow? I bet you, yeah, there you go, just loaded in. So it does go, Radar Omega's kind of just bugging out. It keeps popping up and going away, but we did see it for a second. The tornado watch includes this whole general area. This whole area in North Dakota. The graphic is just bugging out a little bit. Once it fully loads, there it is again. So that does include Bismarck, New Salem, Glen Olin. It does not include Dickinson, North Dakota, but they are pretty close to it. Okay, so we do have a new tornado warning issue for this storm. Looks like we have just the city of, I believe, Kennel included in this, the Kennel district. I don't think we have anybody out here really, but on the off chance that we do, there's that rotation you can see in there. It actually is looking pretty strong now, so we're going to want to keep an eye on that. We could see a tornado with this pretty soon. That's conflicting to what I said earlier, I know. But that's going to be west of Pollock and east of McLaughlin in South Dakota. So if you are just tuning in, I encourage you to share the stream. I am doing so. If you do have any questions, please be sure to let me know in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We'll cover areas all across the country. Just drop a city, a state, a county and a state, whatever you want. Just don't dox yourself. And I'll let you know what you could be looking out for today. We're going to try that microphone again. Okay, so I'm just going to test this and see if it's bugging out. So once again, for those of you just tuning in, we do have a tornado warning. This is radar indicated. There is some pretty strong rotation with this. That does include the Kennel and northern Wauchpala districts. That is in South Dakota. Eastern Missouri. All right. And a new tornado warning actually for the storm to the north of this. This is a separate storm. You can see this includes Fort Yates, the Fort Yates district in southern North Dakota. So if you are in the Kennel district in northern South Dakota or the Fort Yates district in southern North Dakota, kind of a tongue twister there. Seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. Storm shelter or basement, and if you don't have one of those, get into a closet or bathroom away from windows or a hallway. Protect yourself from flying debris. So these red polygons, if you are in one of these, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. To protect yourself from flying debris. Just make sure that you are taking your tornado precautions. And Fort Yates, once you're in your shelter, actually I'd even say western Pollock, South Dakota over here, this rotation is kind of moving north like this. So if you're west of Pollock, Pollock, South Dakota, seek shelter now or be prepared to, just out of caution, because that is just to the west of you. We are at 1,684 subscribers. If you are new around here, please consider subscribing to the channel. It does help me out a lot. Let's see if we can get 1,690 subscribers today. But I appreciate all of you for being here this afternoon. It is currently 1:16 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 2:16 Eastern, 12:16 Mountain. Today we're mainly going to be focused on the Central and Mountain time zones for severe weather coverage. Yesterday we had a crazy photogenic tornado in southeast Utah and southwest Colorado, near Pleasant View, Colorado. I mean, that was very photogenic. In Utah, that was definitely Utah's tornado of the year, but that was also partially in Colorado, but just very photogenic tornado that we saw. So once again, for those of you just tuning in, we do have a tornado warning for the Kennel District in South Dakota and the Fort Yates District in North Dakota. So if you are in those areas or driving in those areas, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. If you were in a car, get into a ditch or the lowest lying spot. Do not try to outrun these storms. But if you are on Route 83, you are good to continue north or south. This is going to remain to the west of there. You can see. Alright, so this rotation is going to stay just to the west of Pollock, South Dakota, this southern rotation. And then this northern one, let me emphasize again for you all, these are two separate storms. These two tornado warnings are for two separate storms. So if you're in Fort Yates, you're going to have this first storm moving through in the next 5 minutes, and then in about 25 or 30 minutes, you should be expecting this next one that's currently moving through the Kennel District and will eventually cross the state line into North Dakota. Alright, so once again, thank you all for tuning in. We are live for severe weather coverage. There is currently a slight risk of severe weather. That includes North Dakota and portions of South Dakota. And then we have two down south in Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and portions of the Texas Panhandle. Those are for wind and hail, but this main focus, the one that I'm mainly focused on, is tornado driven. If we do receive any PayPal donations today, I will be doing the dono board. We'll put that up in the top left part of your screen up here, where you can see my mouse. And that dono board will probably carry into our next stream, just because of we haven't been live very much lately. There hasn't been much to cover. There hasn't been much severe weather. Any severe weather at all, really, especially tornadoes. So once again, thank you all for tuning in. Today we have a slight risk of severe weather. Actually, first we'll go over our tornado watch. We have a tornado watch in effect for these counties in north central South Dakota, and then this includes all of central North Dakota. This tornado watch stretches from the North-South Dakota border all the way through the Canadian and North Dakota border. So if you are in these areas shaded in yellow, that is our tornado watch today. So have a plan. That means the conditions are favorable for tornadoes in the watch area and within 25 miles of any given point. So cities like Dickinson, you're not included in that tornado watch, but the next door county is. So you can see that tornado-driven slight risk up there. And then we have these two slight risks down south in Nebraska, Kansas, and then Kansas, Oklahoma, and portions of extreme northeast Texas. Those are going to be for wind and hail, so have a plan to get your cars inside and secure loose objects outside because they could blow around in those winds. And we could see some damaging large hail. And then we do have a marginal risk of severe weather. This one includes portions of northwest Tennessee, northeast Arkansas, southeast Missouri, western Kentucky, and southern Illinois. So less than 2% tornado risk with this, 5% wind risk. So this is a wind-driven risk, only wind. And then we also have a marginal risk for portions of extreme eastern Oregon, western Montana, and south central Idaho. No tornado risk with that. That is wind and hail driven. But obviously, our main focus today is going to be that tornado risk in extreme northern South Dakota, and then much of North Dakota. So if you are just tuning in, be sure to let me know where you are tuning in from, a city, county, state, and I will keep you updated. But I hope you are all doing well. If you are just tuning in, I encourage you to share the stream out. I have already done so. I would really appreciate that. I will continue to check on chat. Feel free to ask any questions you have. Just be kind and respectful over there. Okay, so this tornado warning, both of these do continue for another 21 minutes. That includes the Kennel District in South Dakota and the Fort Yates District in North Dakota. So continue to seek shelter. And in the Fort Yates District, once this rotation moves through, about 25 minutes later, you're going to have a second one on top of you. In my opinion, the stronger one. But just continue to seek shelter. They both do have the potential to produce a tornado. These are with different National Weather Service offices. This northern storm is warned by the Weather Service in Bismarck, North Dakota, and this other one in Aberdeen. So we are crossing National Weather Service offices, so it'll be interesting to see what Bismarck does with this storm. I think they'll keep it tornado warned if it continues with the steam that it has had, because that is pretty strong rotation. I feel like this is the more likely one to produce right now, so that would be in the Kennel District to the west of Pollock, South Dakota. We also don't have the best radar coverage out here, though, so we'll just need to keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye out for local reports of damage, because we also do have some damaging winds with these storms. Not really any hail, that's not much of a threat today, but I'll keep an eye on that. So once again, a tornado warning is in effect for the Kennel District west of Pollock, South Dakota, and then there's another tornado warning for Fort Yates and the Fort Yates District in North Dakota, southern North Dakota. Kind of a tongue twister if you say northern South Dakota and southern North Dakota. That gets confusing. If you do have any questions, please be sure to let me know in the live chat. If you are new around here and would like to help support the channel, please consider subscribing. It is completely free and helps out a lot. Just as long as you have a Gmail, you can subscribe. Even just watching helps out. Be sure to like the stream. We are going to continue to watch these storms in North and South Dakota. These are currently our only storms that are tornado warned. We have no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Wouldn't be surprised if they put a severe thunderstorm warning out over here on this side. Surprise me if they put out a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-an-hour winds and no hail for that one, but it'll need to meet those requirements. Microphone is making that annoying ticking noise again. Okay, that should have fixed it. Sorry about that, everyone. But for those of you just tuning in, we do have a tornado warning that has just been condensed. And what did I say? I feel like I called this one out pretty well. I said this is the more likely one to produce. And now we do have a tornado on the ground. Weather spotters confirmed a tornado. There is a tornado on the ground in the Kennel District in extreme northern South Dakota. So if you are in the Kennel District or south of Fort Yates, west of Pollock, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. This is now an observed tornado. Tornado on the ground in the Kennel District. This is about to cross into North Dakota. That rotation, this tornado is likely located just to the east of Route 1806. So once again, a tornado is on the ground. It has been confirmed by weather spotters. So we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground in the Kennel District in South Dakota, about to cross in North Dakota. Welcome back, Western Ohio, EAS, and WX. Hope you're doing well. So at 1:25 p.m. Central Daylight Time, or 12:25 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 5.5 minutes ago, a confirmed tornado was located over Kennel, or 15 miles north of Waukpala, moving north at 30 miles per hour. Hazard, damaging tornado. Weather spotters confirmed a tornado. At 12:43 p.m. Central Daylight Time, so almost an hour ago, there was a tornado near Indian Creek. This same storm has produced another tornado. This tornadic thunderstorm will remain over mainly rural areas of northeastern Corson and northwestern Campbell counties. This storm to the north is still radar indicated. The rotation is not as strong with that, but we will continue to keep an eye on it. Check correlation coefficient. I doubt we're going to see anything. Okay, good. Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe if you would like to. As Western Ohio EAS and WX said, it helps out a lot, but it is completely optional. Even just watching helps. We've got 4 people here now the viewership is spiking. So once again, a tornado is on the ground in the Kennel District in northern South Dakota. Weather spotters confirmed a tornado. This is west of Pollock, South Dakota. Damaging tornado just to the east, if not on top of Route 1806. So seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, basement or storm shelter. If you do not have a basement or storm shelter, get away from windows in a closet, hallway, or bathroom. We have gained 3 subscribers this stream. 1,685 subscribers. I appreciate you all. We started with 1,682. We gained 2 almost immediately, which was crazy. But once again, a tornado is on the ground in the Kennel District, so seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows. That is about to cross into North Dakota. So that tornado, this tornadic thunderstorm, is going to be crossing into North Dakota in just a minute. Unfortunately, I will have to end off coverage here soon, but I'll be live as long as I can. We do have a tornado on the ground. Right, so I just shared out everything, all that info about our storm. Hopefully everyone is being wise and taking their tornado precautions. We continue to have a tornado on the ground. Hello, Gus Thorin. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. I saw you in here earlier. For anybody who's interested in supporting the channel, the PayPal is in the chat. It's my most recent message. It's not too far back. You could see it there. But that is completely optional, but greatly appreciated. We do have a new flash flooding discussion. Heavy rainfall, flash flooding possible. Areas affected, central North Dakota. Localized rainfall totals as high as 3 to 4 inches in 2 to 3 hours may result in isolated instances of flash flooding. We have seen a lot of heavy rain with these storms. Many of these storms not even severe. Just look at all of this rain west of Bismarck. That was what I thought was going to be limiting our storms today, was the lack of heating because the sun isn't shining out there. But these storms are going. This storm continues to be radar indicated. I would honestly be surprised if they reissued this tornado warning for Fort Yates for this storm. Soon, Fort Yates will see a tornado warning for the Kennel District storm. That is pretty strong rotation. So once again, a tornado is on the ground. I think this storm has lost the majority of its tornadic potential for the time being. Don't take my word for it, though. That could change later. This storm wasn't looking all that impressive 20 minutes ago, and look where we are now. once again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. We do have a slight risk of severe weather for North and portions of South Dakota. Tornado watch has been issued, but our main focus right now is that tornado on the ground in the Kennel District, and that's going to cross. That rotation is in the process of crossing into North Dakota as I speak. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. If you have any questions for your location, please feel free to let me know. But we are going to mainly focus on these areas. But I am happy to help you out. That is what I'm here for. So a tornado is on the ground. This tornado warning will likely soon be reissued in North Dakota by the National Weather Service in Bismarck, because this observed warning right now is from Aberdeen, but since we are crossing state lines, that is changing National Weather Service offices up here. That rotation is just to the west of Pollock, South Dakota by about between 5 to 8 miles. So that rotation does continue. We're going to go over today's severe weather risk once again, just for anybody just now tuning in. You could see in yellow is our tornado watch. But here is our severe weather risk, a slight risk in North and South Dakota. That's tornado driven, and then these southern ones are both wind and hail driven. So we're going to keep an eye on those, but that threat is expected later. We have a special weather statement. Actually, that's some pretty large hail. That's north of Ray, Colorado. But my main focus right now, for anybody just tuning in, before we go over our tornado warning once again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning north of, actually includes Brookings, South Dakota for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So secure loose objects and seek shelter inside a sturdy structure. Our observed tornado warning expires in 6 minutes. We're going to see what they do with this when they reissue it, and then after that, I will unfortunately have to end off this stream. Gotta eat some lunch. I do believe this tornado is still on the ground, but I will emphasize this tornado warning is for a separate storm rather than this one. So if they drop this, I wouldn't be surprised, because this northern storm isn't very impressive to me as of right now. That can always change. But for anybody new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the stream, and if you would like to, it is completely optional. All of them are, but consider donating to the PayPal. It does help out a lot. It helps support the channel. It helps costs like Radar Omega, Radar Scope, and hopefully more weather programs in the future. And also just shows that you're awesome. That link is in chat in my most recent message. But even just watching helps. I appreciate you all for being here. Once again, though, tornado warning, an observed tornado on the ground about 15 minutes ago, confirmed by weather spotters. That's to the west of Pollock, South Dakota. and that rotation is crossing into North Dakota as we speak. It's kind of in both states. New tornado warning. Okay, new tornado warning. So there's our observed tornado warning down there, and then you could see this tornado warning was for a second storm. That's radar indicated. I doubt they would reissue that. And then we have this one. That's radar indicated, expires in 34 minutes. So according to the National Weather Service, our tornado is no longer on the ground. But a tornado is possible. Radar indicated rotation that does have the potential to produce a tornado. If you have any questions for your area, please feel free to let me know in the live chat. I'm happy to help you out. That is what I'm here for. Gonna try switching microphones again. If we sound good. But now that they have dropped that observed tornado warning, unfortunately, I do need to end off this live stream. But when we come back for our next stream, which will likely be later today, we will be back for severe weather coverage. These storms, both of these rotations are going to continue moving north, and eventually they'll probably make it to the Bismarck area. I'm not sure if they'll still be tornadic by that time. If they are, I doubt they'll have a tornado on the ground, but you never know, so we'll keep an eye on it. But if you are in Fort Yates or west of Stroudsburg or extreme southwest of Linton, North Dakota, or south of Cannonball in these red tornado warning polygons, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. But with that being said, that's going to be the end of this live stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you for your support to the channel, and I hope to see you all in the next one.